all you need to know, the Bloomberg Quint podcast that prepares you for the day's business. Good morning. You're listening to the Daily Morning Update from Bloomberg Quint, and I'm Alex Matthew. Today is the 19th of December. In the top news, Cyrus Mistry won big yesterday as the National Company Law Appellate Tribunal ruled that his dismissal as chairman of Tata Sons was illegal and found that the affairs of Tata Sons were conducted in a manner prejudicial and oppressive to its minority shareholders, namely Cyrus Mistry and his family companies, as well as to the interests of the company itself and its group firms. In its order, the NCLAT restored the chairmanship of the Tata Group holding company to Mistry. It also set aside the change of Tata Sons from public to a private company. Tata Sons, for its part, has made it clear that it intends to appeal the decision in the Supreme Court, with the order having been suspended for 4 weeks for the company to do so. We told you that pre-budget consultations with the finance minister start this week. During some of those discussions, some states have suggested to Nirmala Sitharaman that the government relax its fiscal deficit target to 4% of GDP in order to support fiscal expansion and therefore GDP growth. Remember, the finance minister in her maiden budget in July had reduced fiscal deficit target for 2019-20 to 3.3% from 3.4% earlier. The GST Council voted for the first time since its inception yesterday to impose a uniform tax on lotteries. Accordingly, state-run lotteries and state-authorized lotteries, or those operated by private players, will both be taxed at 28%. The new rates will come into effect from the 1st of March 2020. State-run and private lotteries were earlier taxed at 12% and 28% respectively. Protests continue across the country against the recently passed Citizenship Amendment Act. Prohibitory orders have been set in place in Bengaluru and Mangaluru in the backdrop of these protests. The orders in Bengaluru will be in force for 3 days starting from 6 a.m. today to the 21st of December midnight, and those in Mangaluru will remain for 2 days starting this morning. The orders seek to prevent people from carrying out protests and demonstrations. In the banking space, the Reserve Bank of India told the Bombay High Court yesterday that its decision to grant approval to ICICI Bank for termination of appointment of Chanda Kochar as Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer was fair and not arbitrary. The central bank filed an affidavit in response to a petition filed by Kochar last month, challenging her ouster as the MD and CEO of ICICI Bank months after she voluntarily left the private sector lender. Patanjali Ayurved has completed its acquisition of Ruchi Soya Industries under the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. The Ayurvedic products maker paid 4,111 crore rupees to financial creditors of Ruchi Soya as part of the transaction. The total payment for the assets now stands at 4,350 crore rupees, which included payments to operational creditors, statutory dues and resolution cost. Ruchi Soya's assets will be formally handed over to Patanjali Ayurved today. In the US, President Donald Trump is set to become only the third president to be impeached. As I record this, the House of Representatives is voting on 2 articles of impeachment even as Trump conducts a campaign rally for the 2020 presidency. Even if it gets passed by the House of Representatives, it isn't expected to go through the Senate. Do log on to BloombergQuint.com for the latest on this developing story. In international markets, US stocks ended nearly unchanged, and it's a mixed start for the early risers in the Asia-Pacific region. The Kospi was positive, while the Nikkei in Japan was losing about 0.2% last I checked. With that, it's over to Darshan Mehta for the trade setup for the day in India. Good morning, Darshan. How are we looking today?
Hi Alex, good morning everyone. Global cues are muted at this point of time. Asia has also started rather flat and the SGX Nifty is indicating a mild downtick on the index currently. But lots of stocks, I think the big one will be NMDC. They've received approval for the modified mining plan of the Kumaraswamy iron ore mines from 7 MTPA to 10 MTPA from the Indian Bureau of Mines. Remember, a lot of positive triggers have come on NMDC. The stock has been a massive outperformer. It's up almost 20% YTD compared to the Nifty Metal Index, which is down close to 20%. Goa Carbon will commence production at the Paradeep unit in Orissa from December 20. The plant was shut initially for maintenance work. Lemon Tree Hotels has signed a license agreement for a 44-room hotel in Goa. The hotel is expected to be launched in April 2020. NBCC says that they have secured business worth 8861 crores for the month of November. Rallis had an analyst meet. They have reaffirmed the recovery in demand environment during the Rabi season amid higher sowing and reservoir levels. Lower input prices may support domestic agrochemical margins in the near term. Initiatives to develop new products and reduce dependence on key input to lead growth, and 5-year capex guidance of 800 crores to develop new active ingredients and enhance backward integration. In terms of IPO, Prince Pipe and Fitting gets subscribed 28% on day one. Lots of brokerages. Citi believes that the risk reward for Aurobindo Pharma is favorable. The compliance risk is priced in. Sandoz is not. The target price is 860. UBS cuts the target price of Chennai Petro to 200 from the earlier 370. They lower the FY 2021 refining margins but optimistic on the IMO 2020 upside. Credit Suisse ups Dr. Reddy's target to 32.35, indicating a rollover into FY 22. But Nuvaring NPV is now likely to be below acquisition cost. But overall strong. The story is strong is something that Credit Suisse believes. CLSA has cut Havells' target price to 730 from the earlier 770, and they believe that the structural changes in Lloyd to start bearing fruit only from FY21. Morgan Stanley has raised JSPL's target to 174 from 139. They believe JSPL will grow faster than the market as domestic steel spread improve, and JP Morgan has raised the target price on Maruti to 8200 from the earlier 7900. But there's much more you need to know before trade actually starts. For that, log on to our website bloombergquint.com and click on the All You Need to Know tab and you'll be prepared for morning trade.
Thanks, Darshan. And as always, thank you all for listening in. This is Alex Matthews signing off. Have a great day.
I hope you enjoyed listening to All You Need to Know. Did you know that you could listen to the show on the IVM Podcast app? On the IVM Podcast app, along with this, we have a number of other shows which you think you'll enjoy. Listen to Cyrus Says with Cyrus Brocha as the host. Listen to Paisa Vaisa with Anupam Gupta. The Scene and the Unseen with Amit Verma. Or Shunya One hosted by Shiladitya Mukhopadhyay and myself. Check out the IVM Podcast app to get more talk content that you will enjoy.